We know what Misty is like when it comes to water types though. She's already head over heels for Clauncher, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of Poke Chippers out there would have loved to hear Misty talk about Ash this way, but nope, her heart already belongs to this random wild Clauncher. Ash is also up to his usual delusions, claiming that Corphish and Clauncher have already forged a deep bond, so he must catch it. Misty challenges him to a fishing duel, and Ash accepts, whipping out his rod equipped with a silent lure. Misty is appalled at the sight of this lure, and this friendship is dissolving right before our very eyes. Ash claims that this literally see Brock turn to stone as he gets his heart broken once again, and now he cuts to later in that day when Ash and Misty are trying to cheer Brock up. Ash tries to remind him of the same stuff Brock always used to say back in the day, but this time Brock really won't cheer up at all. Just then, someone recognizes Ash, and I'm guessing it must be one of his many adoring fans now that he's the world champion. Oh, it's actually just Silent. And by the way, I always find it funny that his Japanese name is Dent. I feel some kind of kindred spirit to this guy since he's just some Dent and I'm just some Mark. Ash and Silent exchange pleasantries, and Misty introduces herself like she's some kind of famous idol, and Silent is like, oh, you must be that other sister of the Cerulean Gym. How rude. Misty gets confused when Silent... It's time for Hatterene to strike, and its psychic powers cause Ash to chase after a pile of his mother's croquettes, while Misty sees some water-type Pokemon. And wait a second. Okay, Misty is right. Water types are just so great. As for Silent, he's drawn in by England. Number 6, Ash vs. Karina. Whoa. Let me jump in here. I can already hear the angry comments coming. Ash vs. Karina at number 6? I mean, I know there's probably plenty of people who consider this a top 5 gym battle of all time, but for real, I don't even think it's a top 5 gym battle in Kalos. This probably sounds like a hot take, but I have my reasons. First of all, I do want to mention that the end of this battle is great. The Pikachu vs. Mega Lucario showdown is awesome, but that's just 3.5 minutes of the match, and that does not tell the whole story. This battle was set up to be amazing. I mean, Ash and Karina had way more backstory going into this match than almost any other gym battle Ash has ever had. This 3v3 battle had an entire episode's worth of screen time to work with, the tension and anticipation were high, but in my opinion, that all goes out the window as soon as the battle actually begins. Karina leads with Mienfoo while Ash chooses Hawlucha, and wait a second, what is it doing? Oh yeah, Ash thought it would be a good idea to have his Pokemon dance during this battle. After meeting Tierno at the Pokemon Summer Camp, Ash thought it would be a good idea to adapt his rhythmic battling style in order to defeat Karina, and let's see how that goes. Ouch. Oh man, Pikachu even knows this is hopeless and he's supposed to be keeping the beat. You guys may think I'm being hard on this battle, but seriously, just watch this.
Type move. Use rhythm. Hawlucha, no!
What? That is like Ash versus Elisa level tactics if you ask me. This was Ash Ketchum at his worst when it comes to battling. He and his Pokemon are so flustered that they're completely outmatched. What shakes Ash out of this funk was remembering how Serena told him that he has his own unique rhythm, and Ash decides to just battle his own way from now on, which Karina just laughs at, and I agree. Does Ash really think he can just change his strategy mid-battle? Oh, what's that? Hawlucha already KO'd Mienfoo that quick? How? Yeah, I really am not a fan of most of this gym battle. Once Ash starts trying, he takes down Karina's first 2 Pokemon with incredible ease, only for Karina's Lucario to take down Ash's first 2 Pokemon with incredible ease. Like I said before, the final showdown between Pikachu and Lucario is great. It's really solid stuff, especially if you like XY's animation style. But for me, despite the high highs of this battle, I cannot see past the low lows of Ash vs. Karina. It's just such a disappointment anytime I watch it, with the last little bit redeeming it only slightly. Okay, this is kind of difficult to talk about, I'm not gonna lie. I know everyone is experiencing all kinds of emotions seeing Ash and Pikachu's journey come to an end, or rather, their time in the Pokemon anime coming to an end. Because really, the show has been telling us all along that Ash and Pikachu's journey will always continue. That's been the message of this entire Aim to be a Pokemon Master miniseries. And even though a lot of people didn't really like the direction that this 11-episode miniseries went, I think narratively it makes perfect sense. Ash's monologue underneath the tree spelled things out in the clearest way we have ever seen in the anime. Ash's goal of becoming a Pokemon Master isn't becoming the strongest trainer. That's just part of it, and Ash has already achieved that goal. So, what's next? Well, according to Ash, he wants to befriend all the Pokemon in the world, so that's his next goal. I had this figured out way back in episode 4 of Aim to be a Pokemon Master, and what we saw in this episode just reaffirms what I said back then. Now that Ash is the world champion, he's gonna live out his days helping Pokemon, meeting all kinds of new Pokemon and connecting with them in his own special way. At times, that may require some serious battling, and I have no doubt that there are many more epic battles in Ash's future. But at other times, he might just try to help out a random Pokemon in need. That's just as important to him. It might not be the most exciting television, and I can see why people didn't love the plot of Aim to be a Pokemon Master, but I think it perfectly illustrated what the next stage of Ash's journey is going to be, as he, wait for it, aims to be a Pokemon Master. Really, where I think the anime mishandled Ash and Pikachu's final chapter was at the very beginning. In the initial announcement trailer, they showed us all the most exciting moments from episodes 1, 2, 3, and 11. They got our hopes up that this miniseries was going to be non-stop action, returns, and plot development. It was not. They made it quite clear in the actual episodes that this was just Ash's never-ending aimless journey, and nothing more. If you were paying attention, you would have recognized that the first scene in episode 1 almost mirrored the final scene in episode 11. These 11 episodes were never meant to be this big epic send-off to Ash and Pikachu. They were meant to be the final chapter, maybe even the epilogue of what the rest of their adventures are going to look like. The entire narrative of Aim to be a Pokemon Master was showing Ash and Pikachu moving on to the next stage of their lives, and I think it accomplished that. I feel satisfied with what we got in this miniseries, but I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If you feel disappointed or sad about how Ash and Pikachu left the anime, I can't blame you. These two have been the main protagonists of the anime for 26 years. They've been our heroes for so long. There's going to be a lot of different emotions from all the fans watching them say goodbye. And complicated emotions at that, which we'll all process in different ways. So whatever your feelings are about Ash and Pikachu leaving, they're totally valid. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, or come on over to my Discord server if you want to chat with others about Ash, Pikachu, and whatever happens next. I still haven't given this last down. With our heroes now freed, hold on a second, they were freed by Freed. Okay, anyways, I think Roy recognizes, checks inside the cupboard hoping to find some sweets, and instead she just shocks Alchemy, who creams all over her face. Why did I just say that? Anyways, quickly moving on, Liko is shocked to get a phone call. Okay, back to Nidothing, who's answering a question from someone with the username Muscles of a Rhydon. This guy says that he thought he was unbeatable after learning Rock Blast, but keeps losing, even getting burnt to a crisp by an Ember in his last battle. Hold on a second, no way does Zur watch Nidothing too, but there's no way this wasn't intentional. This guy's Rhydon has only used one move so far, Rock Blast, and he lost to Fuecoco's Ember in their last battle. Wow. Nidothing tells him to stop spamming attack moves and try using moves like Protect and Sandstorm to change things up. Alright then, everyone pay attention during Zur's next appearance. If he uses Protect and Sandstorm, we've got a confirmed Nidothing fan on our hands. Okay, so the next comment Nidothing reads is from Sprigatito Superfan, and hey, Liko seems to be reacting kinda weird to hearing that name, and wait a second, their comment is about befriending some girl, and Nidothing is starting to sweat as Dot realizes this is Liko talking about her. Nidothing really has no clue what to do as Dot tries to keep up the facade the best she can, but things really go off the rails when Liko screams at the top of her lungs, making Dot fall out of her chair, and even Ludlow jumps at the sound of Liko's screech. And yeah, she's just floored that Nidothing is reading her comments, and I just knew that so many other YouTubers would use this embarrassed reaction in their thumbnails. I could see that coming from a mile away. Dot tries to pick herself back up, but now have absolutely no idea what to do until Liko notices some of the smashed Rayquaza sculpture over in the corner. Not sure how it got there, but whatever. Somehow this is enough for Liko to deduce that Brassius must be going through a slump, which is basically just writer's block, but for an artist. Liko continues by explaining that this happens to her father sometimes, and he usually eats tasty food and does things to make him smile in order to break himself out of a slump. I'd love to make a joke about the baseball meaning of the term slump buster, but if you know, you know. Getting back on topic, Roy suggests... Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my... Hold on. Who are you? Oh, I'm Mark, the new Mark. Your services are no longer required. I'm getting replaced? Yeah. Thanks for all your hard work. Now go hang out with Hilbert in the Elite Trainer Mark retirement home. Hilbert? New trainer art? I'll get my revenge for this! Yeah, whatever. Anyways, this is my recap for Pokémon Horizons episode... Bingo! We have a new bingo card. For those of you who watch my Pokemon Journeys episode reviews, you will remember that I created a game of Elite Trainer Mark Bingo that we played along with throughout the second half of Journeys, and now I have created a new game for Horizons. Nothing to check off so far, but I'll explain more about what each tile means in the pinned comment down below. Let me know what your guesses are, but I think our most likely routes of getting a bingo would either be this diagonal, or the center column, or the fourth row. If you want to take a closer look at this card, just pause the video because I'm going to move on. Okay, now let's talk about this. Roy does end up catching this watch roll. Okay, now how about Liko and Dot? Well, Liko still hasn't put the pieces together that Dot is Nidothing. We are continuing to see everyone's favorite Nido-based content creator break out of her shell. She's coming out of her room, talking to people face to face, and even messaging back and forth with Liko like, well, I was going to say like a normal person, but normal friends usually don't dress up in Pokemon costumes before sending pictures to each other, or do they? Then let's talk about Spinel. I don't know. Then Iono gives the best advice I've ever heard, which is to subscribe. That's right, if you made it this far into the video, then your eyeballs are definitely trapped in my electro web, and the only way to get them out is by liking and subscribing, so just do it right now. Even Spinel has his passes as we get to the last couple of scenes for this episode. The Bravasagi is finally taken off towards Galar, but Liko is feeling mixed emotions about this whole ordeal. Dot comes to join her friend outside, and the two of them awkwardly stumble their way through this conversation. Quaxley pushes Dot to just come out and say it already, so Dot thanks Liko for coming to save her, and likewise Liko thanks Dot for coming to save her in the last episode. Dot's not done yet though. Whoa, it's confession time, and Dot starts off by apologizing to Liko, and then has this word salad that's going absolutely nowhere and just ends up confusing Liko. Eventually, Dot gets to the point, and it looks like she's about to confess about being Nidothing, but Liko cuts her off to be like, oh yeah, you're a huge fan, and nope, Dot isn't having any of that this time. She builds up her courage one last time, and just comes out and admits that she is Nidothing. There's a brief pause to let that sink in, and then it actually hits Liko. Yeah, I know why she's freaking out so much. It's because, bingo, we just hit the first tile of the Elite Trainer Mark Pokemon Horizons bingo game. Liko has finally figured out that Dot is Nidothing, and honestly, I did not expect this to happen so soon. I thought we would be keeping this comedic gag going for a long time, way more than just 16 episodes. Unfortunately, that's all the reaction we get to see in this episode. And what do they see on the horizon? That's right, they finally made it to the Galar region, and that's how the episode comes to an end. We transition right from the opening theme into the ending, and man, I love this song. In fact, once I hit 10,000 subscribers, I will perform the Rising Voltacklers rap. Did anyone ask me to do this? No, not at all. But I love this song so much, and will happily embarrass myself by singing it and posting the video on the internet if you all can help me reach 10,000 subscribers. Would Roy have a crazy over-the-top reaction to this, but honestly, I just can't get over how that evil Mitchell made cute little Alchemy all sad. Liko asks what happened between him and Mitchell, and Murdoch starts explaining their backstory, going all the way back to when Alchemy was still just a milcery, and the two of them worked together at a sweet shop, and whoa, hold on. Check out this adorable interaction going on in the background. Don't think a Precious Mime Jr. is going to appear on screen without me acknowledging its cuteness. Okay, so back to the story, and apparently milcery used to help Murdoch and Mitchell with their sweets. Murdoch's signature dishes always had a ruby flavor, while Mitchell preferred matcha, and there was a rather conspicuous amount of matcha talk in this episode when you consider that they just revealed Poltergeist a few days ago. Very suspicious. That aside, Mitchell and Murdoch were happy together, and they really enjoyed working together alongside Milcery. Then one day, Milcery picked up one of Murdoch's strawberry sweets, began spinning counterclockwise, and since this was during the day and lasted for more than 5 seconds, Milcery started evolving. For some additional context, Alchemy has 9 flavor forms and 7 different sweets that can trigger its evolution, and the specific formula Murdoch's Alchemy just followed made it evolve into a strawberry ruby swirl Alchemy. While Murdoch is over the moon about this, Mitchell is not. In order to get a matcha cream Alchemy, which would have fit Mitchell's taste, Milcery needed to spin clockwise for less than 5 seconds at night. But since that didn't happen, Murdoch got the perfect Alchemy for him, and Mitchell started to resent the two of them because of this. This all boiled over one night when Alchemy tried offering Mitchell a snack, but Mitchell didn't want it. In fact, he slapped it out of Alchemy's hand, hurting it and making it cry. Mitchell, you heartless son of a bitch! Okay, well, moving on, this vile piece of human trash says that he can't make sweets with Murdoch anymore, and now everything is fallen apart. Murdoch has seen and heard enough. He and Alchemy leave this waste of oxygen alone and walk out of the shop, never to return. The aspect ratio returns to normal now that Murdoch has finished his story, and we get to sound like a simple or overly complicated summary, depending on how you're looking at it. This week I am feeling super analytical, so I'm breaking this episode down a lot further than I did last week's silly episode about alchemy and baking. And that's just what you get with my reviews. Some weeks I'm going to do a deep dive on the most subtle details of the show, and other times I'm just going to try and make myself laugh by highlighting the silly side of this kid's show that we all love. And there's no room for silliness in this episode. That would probably go against Kabu's whole train until you die mantra. And it's fitting that Freed didn't expect things to go this way, but just as Ceruledge is charging up for the finishing blow, it's time for Charizard to surpass its potential as Freed whips out his Terra Orb, terrestrializing his Charizard for just the second time in this series. Amethio was completely taken aback by this turn of events. He clearly did not expect Freed to terrestrialize his Pokemon. Liko and Roy are also amazed with this being the first time they've seen Freed use this technique as well. Ceruledge's Psycho Cut is useless against the now Dark-type Charizard, and I guess Amethio is at least familiar with the terrestrial phenomenon, and he's about to be real familiar with the move Terra Blast as Charizard unleashes an absolutely devastating strike on his Ceruledge. It's super effective, and it knocks Ceruledge out. Bingo! Well, not quite a bingo just yet, but this does check off the second bingo tile on the Elite Trainer Mark Pokémon Horizons bingo card, because Amethio and Freed finally finished one of their battles. Maybe Amethio should not have tried to win straight up in a one-on-one battle, because Freed certainly didn't hold back in using his Terra Orb out of nowhere. He explains that Amethio forced him to stop holding back, which I guess is a compliment, and now Fuecoco just has all the more reason to be amazed by its idol, Charizard. If they're cut off by Amethio, believe them all to be real. Diana tells Liko to seek out the 6 heroes, and whoa, hold on to your hats, folks. Diana's about to name all 6 heroes, starting with the ones we already know, followed by Lapras, okay, no shock there really, then Kleavor, which I know a lot of people expected, and I thought a Hisuian Pokemon was likely, but what could the last one be? Whoa, it's Entei!
Holy cow!
Oh my god!
Say what?
Well, that absolutely floored me. I did not see Entei coming, and the episode comes to an end with Hamber reporting to Master Gibeon that the cogs have begun turning once again, and wow, what an end to the first chapter of Pokemon Horizons. Suddenly, this guy shows up out of nowhere, and alright, here we go. I have a lot to say about this. This person is just an ingredient seller. You know, like the generic trainer class from Sword and Shield? Yeah, literally just a no-name NPC. When I watched this scene in the episode, I thought literally nothing of it. So then imagine my shock when I read the Bulbapedia article for this episode, and someone tried to claim that this was the same character from Pokemon Journeys episode 101. Yeah, what a silly thing to suggest, right? And this actually got removed from the Bulbapedia page because most people were quick to agree with me that this person was just a generic NPC and no one important. Then I go online to see the reaction to this episode, and multiple people have been clickbaiting videos about how this ingredient merchant confirms that Ash is returning, or that Horizons exists in the same universe as Ash. Now, okay, I know not everyone who's using this as clickbait actually believes that. They're just playing the game of being a YouTuber. I get it. The current state of YouTube is such that we're basically forced into making sensationalized clickbaity titles in order to get views. I know I am very guilty of doing exactly that, but I mean, come on, are we really that desperate that we're clutching at the thinnest of straws and saying that this generic NPC confirms anything related to Ash? I just thought this was silly and I had to mention it. Like I said, I can't already seen Captain Pikachu decimate the Explorer's admin, so it wasn't really that interesting seeing him bully Tepin's Pokemon. We know how strong Cap is, and we know his Thunder Punch is going to destroy all of these guys. So my reaction to this heroic moment was, really? Again? Tepin knows his goose is cooked, but when he tries to make a run for it, Freed and Charizard show up to corner him. Roy finally gets his Pokeball back, and now it's time to question the old man. For some reason, this felt like one of those ending scenes in Scooby-Doo when they all confront the bad guy. Alright gang, let's unmask this bad guy and see who he really is. It's gotta be the Explorers, right? Well, Tepin isn't really giving anything away, but he has accepted his fate and says they can roast or simmer him if they want. Zoinks! Suddenly, Liko, usually when the episode comes to an end, it transitions into the Rising Volt Tacklers rap, but there's actually a different rap today. A few months ago, my good friend Luop tagged me in a rap tag video, and for the longest time I've been wondering how to respond to it. Well, inspiration finally hit me harder than one of Cap's Thunder Punches this week after I got matched up against Luop in a Pokemon Showdown tournament in the Pichu Bros Discord server. And based on how that match went, well, the music's starting, so here we go. Luop, you're an imposter. Couldn't even beat my Amoonguss. Get it? Imposter? Among Us? Okay, let's do this. Gen 5 doubles was the meta. It's too bad I was better. Once I set up trick room, time for you to meet your doom. This is why I'm a lead, you're hardly a trainer. Once I sent a Porygon, your chances were bag on. You may have more subs than me, I still won the battle. I know you're not a fan of this, just go and ask your Landorus. You're just so irrelevant, kinda like you're jealous. Better luck next time. Ha 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 ha. Hey everyone. Oh Jesus, we're not doing that. Okay, let's just roll with it. Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokemon Horizons episode 29, Orla and the Monster Ball Artisan. No, why didn't I translate it? It's the Pokeball Artisan. I always translate the titles. Wow, this intro is an absolute debacle. Let's keep it rolling. This was the 1261st episode. Hello, thank you so much for watching this video. Personally, I am very impressed with myself for getting through this entire thing without making a joke about balls. And on that note, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. This rogue starts screaming at Liko, and with this dramatic twist, the episode comes to an end. Except wait, it's time for a brand new segment, Terapagos' Sparkly Exploration Diary. Oh my days, what is happening? We see Terapagos minding its own business, which is just annoying Sprigatito. The gist of the story here is that Terapagos was just following Sprigatito around everywhere, no matter where it tries to hide, but eventually Sprigatito has a change of heart and befriends Terapagos. Aw, what a wholesome story. There's a Draco meteor into the sky, and really everyone is just doing the best they can to try and protect themselves from the falling meteors. One of them actually knocks Liko to the ground, and this leads to the biggest moment of the episode as Terapagos sees Liko and Roy struggling, and just as another meteor is coming head-on towards Roy, Liko jumps in to heroically save him, but this is when Terapagos steps in to save the day. As we now know from the Indigo Disc DLC, Terapagos activates its Terra Shift ability and transforms into its Terastal form, immediately launching a Terra Starstorm, which, if I'm gonna be honest, every time I see this move, I can't help but shout. Yeah, like 10-year-old me had Lucas as his main in Super Smash Bros. Brawl back in the day. But anyways, that's not important right now because we have two legendary Pokemon facing off against each other. And I agree, Roy, what is happening? After the Terra Star comes to an end, and over in my Discord server, I will be posting a Discord exclusive video ranking every single video game I played this past year. The link to join my server is down in the description, but I've talked enough for one video. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.